welcome to Lessons Learnt. I'm Sherry. This is Finish It Friday. We're going to see what I've finished and what you finished. Alright, so let's just get right into it. As you can see behind me, I have two sew-alongs going on. One is Pat Sloan, one is the Sew Sampler box. Let's start with this one. We just received our September box about a week or so ago, and I have got my number 6 block done. This is it right here. I like this one, how it turned out way better than last month's, which was this orange. And I did like this one. It was this one I didn't like. One thing I forgot to do though, once I put these up on the board today, I realized something. I was using a common fabric for behind the block that's sitting on an angle in each basket. It's a little orange and red with a light background. No, it's orange and yellow. It's just, you can barely see it. It's just enough to kind of highlight whatever is medium or dark in the basket. And I picked the wrong one for this one. But I think that's okay. I think probably what's going to happen is I will go ahead and use this low volume and some other blocks if I've got enough. If I don't, I'll pick another 1 or 2 low volumes and mix these 5 in with the other 7 that we'll have, because we'll have 12 at the end. So I don't know if you'd call it a happy mistake or an unfortunate mistake. I don't know, but I'm not mad at it. It's okay. It's okay. So, and the more I look at that, when I was working with the fabric, I thought, oh, this is pretty pink. It's really kind of a watermelon red, isn't it? But now you can kind of see how the quilt's gonna come out. So, block of the month is done. Also, Pat Sloan's Block Wednesday. So this is a block of the week, or a bow, B-O-W. Nobody says that, do they? So anyway, we got 1, 2, and 3 weeks done. This is the 4th week. This is the one that came out this week. This is kind of how they will be set. There will be a little bit more in between each block to set them. But it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and then it'll go back up again like this row, I'm pretty sure. And so I'm really enjoying this Folk and Lore by Moda. I really am. It's just such interesting fabric, and I'm just a little mesmerized with the prints. I just really like them. So yeah, and then this is a Sandy Gervais something flowers. I don't remember. I never remember, do I? But anyway, that's what I worked on. And then also I'm going to show a couple videos here of what else I've got done. You might be pleasantly surprised to see one of these items. The first one is the National Jelly Roll Day project, which I have shown that on Facebook already. But I did some better pictures of it and made a little clip of it. So this was National Jelly Roll Day, Saturday a couple weeks ago, and it turned into a week-long project, but it is done. So I'm going to show that right now. Alright, here's my Jelly Roll strip, Jelly Roll Day quilt, all done. This is called Baguette, from the Simply Jelly Roll book by Sewell. And I used a jelly roll from way back. I purchased a long time ago. It was an off-brand, and you can't find this anymore, but any muted shades of small prints would work to get this effect. There are some lessons learnt on this one though. You can see how in the upper quadrant you can see kind of a diagonal row of complete, I'll call it a diamond shape, and there's some down at the lower right and a little up at the upper right. But I think the lesson is you know, the lighter prints just did not work with the bottom section, or some of them it's the top section of that diamond. It just blended in with the background. But overall, it's fine. You know, I still think it's a cute quilt. It would make a good, probably baby girl quilt. It's probably around 60 inches square. I didn't measure it. So it's definitely not bed size. I could add some borders to it. I don't have any fabric to match. I don't have any more background I can use. So I think it's just going to stay as is. And yeah, that was my lessons on that. I think when you try to use muted colors, you want to make sure you get the dominant shape that's supposed to be of each block. And I didn't quite accomplish that all over, but it gives a different effect. Just a more muted than I would have liked on some of those diamond shapes. But it's okay. Let's get a little bit closer. Okay, so the other one, if you watch my Monday quilt chats, you probably know that I've been anguishing over Happy Days because I set it aside and it was becoming a UFO. I would classify it as a UFO because I believe it was supposed to be done last May, or was it this May? I don't know. Long time ago. So I said I wasn't going to work on anything else, and I did not work on these until Happy Days was done. So I have a clip of that quilt as well hanging outside here, so take a good long look at it. It is amazing. Here she is. Happy Days is finished. It's a happy day. It's a very happy day. I'm so happy to have this finished. This was a Stitch in Heaven sew along. Should have been done months ago. Finally got those borders on and a few little adjustments I had to make here and there. A little bit of hand sewing. Lots of machine applique. It's just a huge project that I will think a long time before I do another one like this. But it was enjoyable and I'm glad I accomplished it. So push your comfort zones when you can, when you feel brave, and get a block of the month kit from Stitch in Heaven because theirs are epic, don't you think? Let's get a little closer. Okay, so now let's get into some of your quilts here. And I do want to mention that, and I'll talk about this on Monday, what the next finish is going to be. It is berry wreath. So I will be finishing that next without doing anything else until I get it done. I don't think it's going to be too bad to get that one finished. Actually, Happy Days was not that bad to get finished because I had way more done on it than I realized. So, you know, I just had to put the borders on and make those 4 applique blocks. Put it all together. Worked out. Got it done in just a couple days. Alright, so in the email this week we have a photo from Shirley. And this is a jelly roll rug and a table topper. And she sent this late, or actually she sent it late last Friday, and I just didn't get it in time. So I told her she was going to be first this week. Alright, here are my 2 completed projects. I tried my hand at a jelly roll rug, and my stitching around the curves needs work, but I think it came out well. Let's take a look at that. Yes, it did. Oh, and you used that fabric that has the confetti look to it. That made a really pretty rug. And I wouldn't know if that was the first one you made or the 10th one you made. It looks great to me. That is awesome. I still need to do that. Let's see. The table topper was a kit I purchased, and it was supposed to be a long one. I decided to make it square instead. It was my first time doing log cabin blocks. I even quilted it myself. And Shirley is in Alaska. Yes, this is very pretty and nice for fall. So you're all ready with your table topper for fall. And I don't blame you for not doing a long one. I think the square one makes a good effect. Great. These are great, Shirley. Keep sending them in. Annie, she said, this is the 3rd quilt I have made of this pattern, and it is her own pattern. She says the strips I use are 1 inch and 1.5 inches, very small, which is what makes the appearance of curves. I love log cabins because they're so versatile and fun to make. I almost always have one in process at one stage or another. This one measures 109 by 90, and she quilted it on her Juki. So she quilted that on her home sewing machine. That's awesome. And I didn't know that making those smaller would give that curved effect like that, but it was really cool how it kind of made a heart shape in the center. Did you mean to do that? I mean, I would say yes. It turned out really good. That is awesome. So you're like me and my 16 patches. You like to always have a log cabin going. That's pretty cool. The next one is Deb, and she says her block of the month of 2018 is finally done. She says the quilt top below was started as a block of the month challenge with my youngest sister in 2018 to help keep us motivated to sew and quilt. I picked her 12-inch blocks and she picked mine. It was a traumatic year for us in 2018. We lost my dad, one of my 2 remaining uncles, and my younger sister. I had a couple of severe episodes with my gallbladder until it was removed on July 4th. One highlight was the birth of a great nephew. Needless to say, staying motivated in 2018 and 19 was a bit difficult. Then in 2020, we were all affected by the global pandemic. My sister managed to get her quilt top finished a year or so ago and had it quilted. I got all but 2 of the blocks made by 2020. Picked up on a challenge and complete works in progress a few weeks ago. Decided to add a row of 4 blocks. I pulled in 9 orphan blocks so I could finish the block of the month challenge. Ended up with 7 extra blocks, so we'll use them in the planned pieced backing. Today the quilt top is finally completed. Hooray! That's cool. Well, I'm sorry for all of your losses and everything that happened over those few years there that hindered your progress on the quilt, but look at it now. Look at it now. And you even added more to it. And this is a very unique quilt, and I love how you framed each block with black and then used a very contrasting white small sashing in between the blocks. So It just looks like little pieces of artwork, or maybe mosaic even. Very good. Very, very good. Congratulations, Deb, on completing your Block of the Month challenge, even if it was a few years in the making. It's not unheard of, so don't feel bad about that. You did what you could do, and now you have a finished quilt. Sandra, she has a beautiful aqua quilt here. Says woven star quilt with twisted pole border. Twisted pole border, yes. I used pictures from Pinterest to create my pattern. Well, you people today are just really good at creating patterns. I wish I had kept the entirety of the star on the bed top. Otherwise, I am happy with the look. The batting is a bamboo silk cotton tinsel blend, which kept the quilt lightweight despite its size. Quilting was done by me on my Gamma long arm, named Rose in honor of her original owner. Okay, so her long arm has a name. Its name is Rose. I have not named my Moxie. I need a name for her. I have my Jazz 2 sewing machine is Snow White, and my brother is Cinderella. So help me think of something for my Moxie long arm. Has to be a princess of some kind, doesn't it? Okay. Back to Sandra's quilt. She said on her Gamel she used a free motion Crazy 8 pattern. It is for my nephew and his wife who are moving from Florida to Montana. It was a challenge to get the quilting done before the inevitable power outages with Hurricane Helene. So happy to have it finished. And Sandy is from Florida. I love your quilt. I love aqua. I love the design. I love that you made up the design. It's awesome and it's huge. And you quilted it yourself. What an accomplishment. And I'm sure it will be greatly appreciated by the recipient. And she's got her strip down the middle of the back with the label included in it there. Cheryl, she says, this is one of my oldest UFOs, hanging in my to-be-finished spot a long while. I decided to quilt it myself on my domestic machine, something that isn't my favorite thing to do, but I'm very happy to have it completed and ready to hang in the perfect spot upside my quilting room. Hope you're having a good... Thank you so much, Cheryl, and Cheryl is from Canada. This is a very cute quilt, an excellent wall quilt. It's kind of a sampler type, and it's done in those rustic colors. Great for fall, so I hope you've got your quilt hung by now so you can enjoy it for fall. Excellent. The next one is Deborah, and this is a jelly roll quilt that she made. Very pretty. I don't know if you made that for Jelly Roll Day or that's just a jelly roll quilt that you made, but I love the pattern. And the fabric that you used looks so good on the black background. Beautiful. I like that. We have one more. Pat. Okay, Pat sent us a baby quilt the other day that was out of some of this fabric. She had taken a couple of chenille bedspreads and cut it up into squares and made a baby blanket. This is another one out of the same fabrics, just a little bit different configuration. So she says number 2 in chenille baby quilts, and this is from Pat in Washington State. Very good, very good. I'm wondering if you have all of those blocks used in a project yet, or you have a large stash of them, because those bedspreads can go pretty far. So a while back I showed on the channel that I had this white chenille bedspread, but it was kind of a spaced out pattern. It wasn't a real close, the fuzzy parts weren't real close together, and I decided to donate it. I was going to use it for something and to be included in a quilt project, but I just felt like it just wasn't appropriate the way the design was. It just had a big, huge, open design on it, and I just didn't think I was going to be up for the challenge of incorporating that into a new quilt. So I let go of it. It was a big one. I think it was a king size one, and it was taking up so much room. I had washed it dried it, folded it up nicely, and it was in my laundry room taking up space, so I just decided to let it go. So sometimes we have to do that. I'm continuing to work on my room here. I was looking around today at some ideas for adding another table so that I can have both of my machines out and still be able to fit everything in here. I have a small craft table that's really made for a machine to sit on. It doesn't have the where you can sink your machine down, and it's not very good quality. So I think if I move that out of here, I'll be able to create some more room for something like that. Still rolling fabric, still scrapping, all of the things. I ordered some more supplies for that endeavor, and pretty soon here I'll hopefully have a room tour for you. It's not going to be real soon, but I really do want to do something like that. I've never really officially done it. So hang on with me. I'll get there. I'm taking my time, and I'm not going to do I think the last time I reorganized my room, which was a good while ago, I did it like in a weekend or something. And it's too much. I can't do that. I can't work like that anymore. I have to think a long time and, make wise decisions that's for the long haul. So that's what I'm doing this time, and it's just going to take some time to do it. So have a great weekend. Get something out to sew this weekend. Start a new project. Get a UFO out. Play with some blocks. Get out one of those pre-cuts and cut it up. Whatever you need to do to get in the sewing room. That's what I hope for you this weekend. So I will be back here on Monday for Monday Quilt Chat for all kinds of jibber jabber about quilting stuff. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.